Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Well, let's do some DVD Blu-ray updates for 2015. Today on our Prince Reviews. Welcome back. Okie dokie. I guess we could start off with the Blu-rays first, and then we'll get to the tower base of DVDs. Now, of course, this is 2015 DVD Blu-ray update. Now, of course, I did kind of spend a little bit of much money through the base of 2014, from Black Friday to Christmas, and through basically the end of the holidays. So, of course, we'll start off basically with the Blu-rays. Now, like I say, I'm not much used for steelbooks, and usually they cost a little bit pricey nowadays. And usually, my only concern about steelbooks is that they usually just come with different type of titles. But I know Walmart is now, of course, selling some steelbooks originally, and I think they're still currently selling them originally based in their racks. But I saw this originally from a box area originally from the electronic department, and I thought, for $7.88, I thought, why not? Because I was sewing the entire base of 4 main Batman movies, but I did buy this one, and it came with a pretty good silicone steelbook, and now, of course, the '89 Batman film. And like I say, this is, of course, the wonderful typical steelbook originally, and nice shiny embossing and everything else. And on the back, it does come with basically the same featurettes. I'll give you guys a little close enough of it. Yes, you can say so. And it is, of course, a card. We can actually slip off the sort of like this. I think you probably can't see it. Let me get a little close enough originally. Just let's see. Yeah. Okay. There we go. So of course, yeah. So it is, of course, a Boston and nice shiny original, the typical of the light. And if you just open up, you just get this nice card that comes with it. And on the back, got some nice basically of Batman rising basically towards the city. And inside, nothing really too fancy, just of course a Blu-ray kit, a nice Blu-ray disc with this nothing basically in the front of it. But if we flip the side, you can see it's nice and shiny as always. So, all in all, nothing much I can say about it. I already said about this already, which is my Cape Crusader basically DVD update. But yeah. Just basically want updates for day. Now, like I say, I have to sell basically my 4 main Batman movies, but I did keep originally the 2004 to 2000. I think it was what basically Dark Knight came out, Rises came out, somewhere around in 2013. But did originally bought this version for $7.88, and nice version basically for buy it, and I thought originally why not? I will require basically the other Batman movies for one day version until I get it. Next up, of course, I didn't really want to get this movie, and I know a lot of people really discussed about this already, and already basically discussed about how it's basically brilliant it is. But there's some parts which I think they kind of have a little bit more kind of for works, and I don't know, maybe because I really wanted it because I want to actually see the bonus features. And lo and behold, I might do a review of it. Not maybe this time right now, because I know, of course, already people are talking about it. And of course, this one, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, in a nice shiny steelbook, well, not steelbook, but slipcover bossing. And you have, of course, the raising text of the Spider logo, Spider-Man's name, title on the nice bossing. You got a nice glossy, shiny base of it. Does it give you a little bit close to it? So that it is. And it's loaded base with base of tons of featurettes. I don't know if you could probably see that originally. Sorry about my light. It's just trying to basically figure out how I want to direction into it. So, hold on one second. Okay. Yeah. So of course it is logo based with featurettes and everything else. And of course it is a 2-disc set for this lovely basically movie. And of course it is a basically nice, say the basis says. And of course you got a of course, you get to this set, and you get a copy code of the digital, how do you pronounce it? Code for the digital copy. So, of course, it's really well kind of fine, but I won't basically do a review of it. I will say this: I think between the same Raimi one to, of course, basically the Mark Waid one, it's sort of okay, Richard. But I'll give it basically doubt. It is a pretty well good movie. But I'm not gonna say that, Richard, basically because I haven't really kind of gone on to basically the reboot. Because like I said, I'm not much used for basic reboot movies. And for this one, it's okay. But I know a lot of people already discussed about this already, and I don't think I really know Richard to basically say anything more about it. But I will save it, Richard, hopefully when I basically do a review. So definitely have it in my collection. So next up, we have another couple of movies, actually. Now, I actually seen this one before when I was basically kind of curious about the film itself, and I was actually wanting to pick up the Steelbook, but I saw this one for basically at Black Friday for like somewhere around about $6 and $7, something like $6 or $7, somewhere around that number. They kind of, I think Walmart's Blu-rays and DVDs, they were kind of priced differently. I don't know, Richard, if that was because they were doing something special or anything like that, Richard. So I did not mind to pick this up, and lo and behold, I finally got a chance to watch it again. And of course, none other than Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. And like I say, this is actually a pretty well good movie. And of course, inside we just have just a nice artwork. That's so much, and then low base with featurettes, actually. So of course, there's really not much that I can say about this movie. This is a pretty well good movie. I will say, Richard, the quality of this movie is pretty well good, and definitely worth basically picking up. Well, if you already had it, Richard. Then of course, I actually pick up the same thing as on Black Friday. And of course, basically, this was another basic movie I didn't really want to basically watch, but of course, I have to basically get a chance to pick it up. So of course, I picked it up for base about, I think it was around like $5, and that was, of course, breakfast at Tiffany's. So this is actually the first time I ever watching it. I'm not usually basically watching romantic movies, but I have watched half base of this movie of it. I haven't really gone around to really watch the full base of the ending. I know the ending is kind of a little bit more of a consequence of it, and really well kind of basic movie originally, you know, let's say, and you know, basically have its moments, but you know, it's okay, really worth basically checking out. It's covered base with lower base with featurettes. You have commentary. You got 3 high-def featurettes along with the make of the classic. It was Andy in style and an icon. Behind the scenes grit, based from the tour, a full base of tour, based of the film. We had brilliant blue box, Anthony's letter from Tiffany's gallery, and the original theatrical trailer. So there you go. So of course, if you have that, and basically if we just look at the case, it's in a gold casing. Nothing too special about just itself. And then on the back is basically low base featurettes. So, Breakfast at Tiffany's, good movie. Okay, next up is basically, of course, I pick up originally from, not from just basic Walmart, but also from Dollar Tree. And it was just $1. So I didn't mind to pick that up, and I thought, you know what, I'll go for it. And of course, none other than Ninja. Well, just Ninja. This is actually a pretty well conditioned, what can I say, just a little bit martial arts movie originally. It has so much really kind of well basically martial arts skills and special effects that they actually put in this movie, and really kind of well stunt team basically did this movie. There's not really a featurette or basically, of course, any behind the scenes of this movie. this is of course, a First Look Studios, which is actually a very common, basically, studio that actually filmed this movie. But really don't require for featurettes. The one thing I will say about this movie is actually it's kind of really almost like, not like Bruce Lee or Jackie Chan movies, how Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee, how they make their movies. It's more really kind of an American version. Yes, it does have a Caucasian character in this movie. Yeah, there's a Caucasian character, but you have, very multiple basic characters that are, of course, Korean. And basically, I don't have to defend the basic Korean people, but, it does have feature basic with this basic one basic kind of character who is Caucasian. So, there you go, but the movie itself, it does have some pretty well good action scenes. It does have pretty well good bunch of stunts, and it's all a basic fun movie, and I actually enjoy it, and I think it's pretty obviously lucky because I actually picked it up for just about a buck from Dollar Tree. Yeah, Dollar Tree usually will basically put their DVDs, movies for just a buck. So I saw this version for for a buck, and it was on Blu-ray. So I thought, hey, for $1 buck for a Blu-ray movie, that's a steal. I'll buy that for $1. So yeah, I'm really happy Richard picked this up. So of course, let's go with the DVDs. Now, let's see. Okay. So originally the DVDs, I'm not gonna go too much update of it. So I got pretty much tired base of the DVDs already. So the first step I'm gonna pick up. Probably put this for say September Essential. Let's see. I actually picked these up for Big Lock, and I thought, you know what? They have the all entire seasons, and I thought I really like the show. I think the only thing I like about it is because we have very well notable base of cast, very well notable actors and actresses who play different amazing movies and TV shows, and well. I don't know what to say more about it. It really outstanding show that Richard got transported, and it's having really much popularity that Richard's at that time. And that's, of course, the complete series of Southland. Now, of course, I did mention well, I didn't really mention Richard, but this is all, of course, the very first, I think, how many seasons it was? I think 5 seasons for the base of when it was on, I think it was on NBC, and then it was on TNT. So I guess you could say they actually run it for twice, both different networks. I think it's because of originally with networks, everything else, especially. But I actually was very kind of curious about this show, and I was very obviously there was cast members in the show. Like, of course, you have, let's see, I can't really remember. I know, of course, this guy. I forgot what his name is, but he's actually the character from Gotham, the young Jim Gordon, the young Jim Gordon. This guy right here, he plays Jim Gordon in Gotham, the Fox TV show series, and it's actually pretty well considered some neighborhood stars. I don't really correctly know the name of, but I do know what they look like. I do know what they kind of played off. I know, of course. This guy, he's now of course in Walking Dead, the one right here, if I could basically put him right here. This guy right here, he used to be in Walking Dead. He used to be in Mighty Ducks 3. I remember seeing him basically when he was kind of in that movie, and I think he actually did this, and then he actually did a cameo appearance in season 2 of 24, and I think towards that he actually got to do Walking Dead. I'm not quite sure which of the details of it, but it's a good show. I mean, it's a basically dramatized show. It's not your typical basic cop drama. It's a very well kind of like an LA drama type, because it does convey with the South Los Angeles Police Department to deal with basically with real life criminals. And it's a really well operated center-based performance with these basic performance, and it does have some basically of characters you can hate and love for at the same time, Richard. So it's an all-red fun basic show, and I'm really glad Richard got the chance of watching it. I do remember Richard seeing it, and I really have no concern. And so, of course, you do have 2 featurettes, Richard, which is actually a behind the scenes of all the basically of the cast and crew and everything else, and for what it is, Richard. Then, of course, in season 2, we have featuring different other basic stars. Now, this was actually really interesting because if you notice in season, I think season 3 or season 4, they actually featuring Lucy Liu right here. She's actually in this show, and it's actually kind of interesting because she actually is one of those actors who just basically have somewhat as a role for playing the characters. And you know, she was based on, of course, Charlie's Angels, and that's all I can know of is she was in that movie. And you know, honestly, you know, they're well basic stars. You can basically pick and choose them to know basically what they're basically been before basically got in basically doing other shows before and behind. So, like I say, really enjoy basically this show, and really, honestly, I cannot say more about it. Now, these actually was priced. You can actually find these price versions for Big Life for like 16, and I paid for like the entire 16 based of all the complete series for about 35. So, for that being said, it's pretty much not bad. So, Southland is actually a really well series, and you know, no more I can say about it. Just really enjoyed the show version very much. Next up, of course, I had to pick up some Nickelodeon stuff, and of course, I had to really I had to really get used to the fact that I wanted to pick them up. So, if you remember, I had season 1 of the Rugrats, but not only that, I picked up season 1. I also picked up season 2 and season 3 of Rugrats. Now, like I say, I did promise myself I was going to basically pick up the entire base of the other seasons, but I'm not really quite sure if I was going to basically do it or not. But lo and behold, I'm finally glad I got to pick these up. Like I say, I actually preferred the first 3 seasons. Now, like I say, it's not really the type of visual for people to go with and everything else, and you know, that's fine. You know, it's centered basically towards basically for what you properly like to base it from what Nickelodeon could accomplish. So, for me, you know, as a Nickelodeon fan, you know, back in 93, somewhere around the mess of that year, and of course to 2004, I actually really kind of gave up basically watching Nickelodeon because they was kind of like, you know, rebadging the episodes, really kind of capture based of some special version of the moments. And, you know, honestly, like I said, I'm not really disappointed with what Nickelodeon is trying to accomplish. But, you know, whatever. It's just, they trying to basically consider themselves basically as what they are. So, like I say, I just basically pick up season 2 and season 3. Now, of course, there is the best of season 2 of Rugrats, which actually is very uncommon. They actually put a few basic episodes of that set. And I didn't want to waste my money on that, so they actually re-released the set for just the complete second season. So, of course, that being said, it's actually really nice to actually see this in as good quality. Now, of course, this is a license-based material. This is an on-demand DVD materials. Now, of course, compared for these, they are licensed materials. They are, of course, branded from onto the on-demand DVDs. So, of course, a lot of people don't really care for these. I think, honestly, you know, it all depends. It all depends of what the quality looks. Now, of course, people are going to say, Richard, of course, that the quality is a little bit low. Well, if anyone basically have experience basically watched television before and know what it's like to basically be an experience to see that TV shows, like back in the early 80s and 90s, they wasn't getting that much quality. They had a very few basic good quality of it, but they had a very well run. So, of course, on season 2 of Rugrats, you have all the episodes. They all contain basically how many episodes was it? Yes, there are, of course, total of basically 26 episodes. I know, of course, this one's 26, so this one's just like 26, same every episodes. And of course, it is a 4-disc set, which is quite nice. Never open up. Not to Richard said special about, but there's something that I like to say this, especially. If you basically get the set, you do have some intro-basic pictures onto the set itself. So it actually is nice to get that original set. So of course it came basically with 4 discs. And the quality, like I say, and basically the high bit, it is, of course, you know, basic standard quality. You're just getting the basic low, basic visual quality, which you get. And of course, you know, what can you say? It's one of those things that you have to really look forward to. And then, of course, in season 3, we have Angelica Pickles. On the spine, we have this nice version of the Independence, and on the back, it's logo based with 6 discs. So you have total base of 10 hours of basic non-fun. I mean, this is actually a really well-based set. So we open it up. It is a pack basically of discs. So we have this 1, this 2, this 3, this 4, and this 5 and 6. So all contender base total, and this is probably, I think the total base of 26, and this is what, probably like up to like 35 episodes of season 3, if I can count it right. But you know, I'm really glad I got the basically got these sets, and I'm hoping I will continue basically get the rest of the Nickelodeon Rugrats sets. So hopefully that speaks a bit less. Then there was a complete series that Shaft actually put out. Now, of course, they actually put in basically in parts, which is very uncommon for that. So, like I say, I didn't want to basically get in parts. I wanted to basically get the entire complete series, and they did. And thanks to Walmart, for $19.95, I picked up Cat Dog. Yes, this is the complete series of Cat Dog. Contains of all 68 episodes. Yes. 68 episodes and one basic complete box set. Now, of course, this is in lovely basic in the strip form, and like I say, nothing special about it. This basically, of course, a nice version cassette. And on the back, you have, of course, the renderings of the episode. Well, basically, of course, how many episodes there are, and of course, you got, of course, the images of basically of the characters. So, of course, we go to the 2 keep cases. So we have disc 1 to 6 and disc 7 to 12. So there's 12 discs, and basically contain all 26 episodes. And on the back, we have a list of the episodes, which is quite nice. Sorry about my light. I don't know if you can probably see them. There we go. And it contains basically the basic parts. So we have part 1, part 2 of season 1, part 2, part 1, part 2 of season 1. Then we have season 2, part 1, part 2. And of course, season 2, part 1, part 2. Season 3, season 3, part 1 and 2. And of course, season, and of course, season 4. So we have, of course, 3 discs on season 3 and 1 disc in season 4. So that contains all basically 12 disc set of Cat Dog, the complete series. Then I want to pick up this movie, and I really want it because I'm just a sucker comes with basically with Nickelodeon, especially with King and Calvers on it. Especially with they actually had accomplishments of what they did back in I think in early '94 to maybe '95. And of course, now that ends Good Burger. Now this is actually the Warner Brother release. If you can see the logo on the brand, it is a Warner Brother release, but when I look at this, I'm thinking to myself, how can they basically do that? I mean, it's barcoded and everything else, and that's fine. But if you look at the discs, I don't know, maybe because it looks like kind of it's basically being copied. I don't know if faded this a bit. I'm not sure. Maybe because it's a little bit faded this a bit. Maybe, I don't know. Couldn't tell, but maybe that's probably the reason why. Because this set was on my list for some time being, and I really want to get it original on DVD, and I really want it back in my collection. So, of course, there's not much I can say about this movie. I know a lot of people have a disbelief of this movie, but I love it. I personally love it when it came out in, I think, what's the movie came out? Wow, 97. So that's probably a little bit very, very years ago. So, like I say, I really enjoy this movie. And, I think, honestly, it's all dependent on what you guys think. And, like I say, I love Good Burger. I think it's actually pretty well considered good comedy. It's not, like, very well haha funny, but it's still well-based entertaining movie. But, what can you say? Okay, now, of course, this is actually one of the things I want to pick up. Now, this was actually very new. I had no idea they actually put out season 2 and 3 this lovely show version that came out in the 60s. But like I said, this was uncommon. Now, I didn't read much about it basically on TVShowTV.com, but when they were actually going to probably really release this set, I was kind of thinking, really? They're actually going to re-release this set, Richard, already? Without announcing people, Richard, who basically thought, Richard, this was never going to happen? So, of course, I thought, why not? And I saw the Richard for a Target for about, I think it was like 19. During basically when it was starting to get into Black Friday, I thought Richard I'd pick up, of course, just for representative, and actually really just pick it up and, you know, just unintentionally just watch the episodes. And that was, of course, none other than The Adventures of Superman, Season 2 and 3, which if you come and remember, Richard, I had this lovely set, The Adventures of Superman, Season 1. So compare for base of this set to base of this set, this is all based, of course, I think grand total of, this one's like 36, and this one's, of course, about 32. So a total base of 36 to 32. You're looking at probably 680 episodes of the complete series of the New Adventures of Superman. Now, I really like this animated series because they actually kind of had a little bit more catchy basic phrase that they did basically in the comics. And honestly, this is actually one of the things I like about watching this show. And I remember watching a few reruns basically on Blu-Ray. So of course, for everyone basically who think that this set is actually for real, definitely pick these up because, you know, you won't be disappointed. Because this set, you just get episodes. There's not really low on featurettes and everything else. It's just basically straight on episodes. So, come as being said, on the back, you listen to basically episodes. And on the side of the case, we just have just a plain infocode text, Superman posing, and the right of base of his Superman logo, namesake on the base of the top on the disc. So that is pretty much that. And of course, you know, I thought, you know, for what it's worth, it's actually nice that they actually put these out. Now, of course, there is, of course, another basis show that they actually did this. Now, I do remember seeing this on basically on Xbox Live. Now, they actually put this basically episodes. Well, this computer show can't be show that back in, like, you know, seeing in Superman, they actually put that out originally in the early 60s. And they actually put this set, well, they actually put this series in, of course, in a very exclusive episode on Xbox Live. And I actually had a random episodes of watching that, and I actually watched a couple of this series. I do remember there was a VHS version. If you remember, Richard, they had a super powered VHS collection where you just have Superman, Batman, Superboy, and Aqualad. Those are the four basically VHS releases they actually put out originally, I think early mid-80s to 90s. I'm not quite sure if that was basically the pair of that was basically for Warner Bros. To be released. But since they actually put this complete series, and all, of course, how many episodes was it? 34 episodes of The Adventures of Batman with Robin the Boy Wonder. Now, if anyone remembers this basically seeing this show, this is it. This is the entire 34 episodes. Now, you're probably thinking, why would I basically waste my money off of this set and basically not have just basically buy something else? Well, honestly, I'm just sucker what comes basically campy TV shows, and you know, like I say, I have a guilty pleasure with something that really has it campy, or just just bonkers, or just whatever. But you know, honestly, I thought this set really kind of got my eye on it, so I thought, you know what, I'll just buy it for the complete. And honestly, I know, of course, with the 66 Batman, the live action series available now both on DVD and a very well quality exclusive on Blu-ray. So, of course, I might get the hands on Irish and maybe probably show a little box upset picture. But honestly, yeah, I don't know. Maybe because I guess the idea is a cartoon. Yes, Batman's supposed to be dark and broody and everything else. But if you remember back in the early 50s and basically early 60s, his campiness was so basically outrageous. I'm surprised that even basically the 66 live action series had a lot more detail than the base of this one here. Now this is the same. It's the same material, basically, you look at the 66 live action. But it's more animated, a little bit more just kind of for kid friendly. It's not really made for adults, you know, for people like myself. But you know, I like it really what it is, and I think it's honestly, it's not bad. I think the only thing that is, you just have it very well campy, and you have it very well kind of like, well, I don't know, just unmeasured, just there. So if you really think this is actually probably a bad reason for it, then by all means, don't buy it. But for me, I'm just come more basically with the idea, thinking, hey, this might be not bad for basically just have it compared with this show, and I have basically have this. So of course, this is of course a 34 episodes basically compared into this, and on the back we have a loaded base of the episodes. This is based on voice of what's his name? Oxford, I don't know if I said the name, but Oxford Scrimben, who plays Batman, and Kenneth Januray, who plays Robin. So of course, compared for that, you have all that. So on the set itself, we have just a weird kind of shape of colorized discs. So you have Batman in, well, we have Robin in purple, and you have Batman in orange, which is kind of very uncommon for this set to be colorized. I don't know, maybe because it's just basically kind of, I don't know why they can do it like basically like the Superman set, like we have in, you know, Batman being blue, or Robin could be yellow, or whatever, or just or red. Whatever depends which is basically what the set they did. But you know, honestly, I think that compared for these sets, I mean, it's not bad. It's not really awful. I think the only thing that is, you just have it just basically its release. Now, of course, they actually put out basically Aquaman, and of course, other basically DC animated 60 cartoons they put out originally in, I think, during the time basically in 2013, or maybe somewhere around that, somewhere around a year when they actually put this out, because this came out during, I think, 2012, or somewhere around about that originally year originally, I'm not quite sure, but somewhere around originally about that originally year originally, they actually put that these releases originally probably often with the nice box and slip cases, which is actually quite common. So of course, that is pretty much obviously I want to pick it up. Then of course I want to pick up some Disney Afternoon DVDs. Now of course, like I say, I don't know, maybe because I haven't really gone around to them. I know of course for what it is, it's actually a little more common sense for these to pick them up. Now of course they actually did put out a few of them, and I thought, you know, well, I'll get it from just for the complete set, and I will try to acquire based on some Disney Afternoons. There's a couple I actually am missing. I mentioned, of course, Darkwing Duck. I think there was, of course, Gummy Bears, and I think there is, of course, what was it? Good Troop. So, of course, that's one I'm kind of missing. So I picked up none, then Gargoyle Season 2, Volume 1, which is actually just comparing basically just the first half of the episodes of Season 2. So that's pretty much fine. I had to pick up Volume 1, Tailspin, Volume 1, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, Volume 1, DuckTales, and this is actually pretty interesting. This is actually random episodes of none other than Quack Pack, Volume 1. Now, of course, this is a fast-forward Disney, basically short episodes, which they actually just put out just one basic volume. They actually did the same thing with basic Good Troop. So, if you have this and you're originally virgin, definitely really want to pick this up. So, honestly, like I say, I don't have much original based on these shows, but I do have to say, with all the episodes intact and all required, it's nice originally that I have a basically nice set basic collection. But like I said, there's not much I can say about them, because I know a lot of people are discussing about this already, and I'm just glad to actually get into my collection. Then we go to my final basically DVD and Blu-ray update. This is just one basically DVD from Mill Creek. Here's my problem with that. I think the only thing that they actually put only based on random movies on this set. And of course none other than The Three Stooges with Moe, Larry, and Curly Joe Dorita. If that's his name, yes. So of course, for that being said, it's actually fine. But here's my against about this set. They're missing a couple more movies. I don't know. Sorry about my light. They're missing a couple of movies that Three Stooges put out recently from 21st Century Fox, and I think it was something else from other. But I know, of course, it was 21st Century Fox, the Snow White and the Three Stooges. So they actually are missing a couple movie bits of the Three Stooges movies that they actually base a bit in. Because I think in one of them you have, of course, Time Out for Ribbon, and then you have Rocket in Rockets. So that is pretty obviously kind of a little letdown. But you do have, of course, Half Robin Would Travel, The Outlaws Are Coming, The Three Stooges are around the world, and the Three Stooges go around the world in the days, and Three Stooges meet Hercules. So compared for these four movies, you're getting basically two bonus movies of Curly Harry Howard in one of these movies. So you know, it's not that bad. But I think only my problem is that this is a Mill Creek set, and there's not much home I can basically say about it. But I think, you know, honestly, yeah, it's kind of nice. But you know, whatever. It just kind of really has it pretty much since this moment. And inside we just have, of course, there's the same artwork into this set. And there you go. So that is, of course, my DVD Blu-ray updates. So yeah, I might probably do a couple more updates, but I don't have much really to do much right now because with the, you know, the job I'm working for 3 years, and of course basically it's been linking with money issues and everything else. So, but y'all will be the first to know, and I wish I got myself into basically the holiday spirit to pick up one of great sets, and I'm really happy to basically get them. And yeah, no more else to say. Hopefully I will continue doing more. I'm hoping I can probably pick up originally other sets of based off the Rugrats, which I will eventually come around and get that versus sometime. Hopefully in some around this following year, because it is, of course, 2015, and I'm very excited about virtually that we're going to have a new year to basically celebrate. And of course, since 2014 wasn't really the best, but you know, it had some moments, and I think it's pretty much obviously it got really, you know, better for what it is. But 2015 is going to probably be a lot more better, hopefully. So until then, this is Eric. I hope I will see you hoping in the next update or review. Anytime there's more videos I basically do. So I'll see you guys later. So until next time, this is Eric. Thank you for watching, and sayonara.